The following is a presentation of RMG Sports, award-winning championship television.
Race fans, it's time for Chase to the Checkered. The C2C crew has banged together yet another fantastic show. We've got the highlights from all the racing, including the Twin 50s in the Wheeler Brothers AC Delco late models. And don't forget the Allison Legacy Series Blue-Gray Shootout. So don't get spun around and watch who you bump into, because Chase to the Checkered starts now.
Hi, I'm Ben Rockwell with Family Time Kettle Corn of Greensburg, Pennsylvania. Race fans, start your engines.
Welcome back to Chase to the Checkered. Let's get this week's C2C rolling with the highlights from the Twin 50-lap races in the Wheeler Brothers AC Delco late models. In race 1, number 6, Snooky Williams took off with the lead, with number 31, Mark Catone, and number 25, Rick Miller, charging by number 77, Wade Champano, for position. By lap 4, last week's winner, number 94, Mark Smith, got around Catone for the third place position. A few laps later, number 25, Rick Miller, got under Williams for the lead. A blink of an eye, and Williams was in third, behind a charging Mark Smith. Rick Miller had little time to celebrate. 3 laps after taking the lead, Smith rifled by the number 25 car and got out to the front. Meanwhile, number 38, Brad Creighton, had patiently worked his way through the pack and got by Williams for fourth. Soon, number 75, Barry Audi, and points leader number 98, Neil Brown, got by the number 6 car, moving Snooky Williams further back. 9 laps later, number 38, Brad Creighton, worked his way past number 31, Mark Catone, for third. After getting by number 25, Rick Miller, for second on lap 27, Creighton had his eyes fixed on the leader, Mark Smith. But the number 94 Richter Motorsports Ford Taurus had built a nice lead. But there were over a dozen laps left. Persistence paid off. With 3 laps remaining, Creighton was alongside of Smith. He got by him in turns 1 and 2, narrowly avoiding the number 14 car of Tim Bainey Jr. The number 38 would hold on, and Brad Creighton won the first 50-lap feature in the Wheeler Brothers AC Delco late models.
The competition level is really good. It's a tough place to go and racing, and I think we really accomplished something tonight. Like I said, our car got better as the race went on. I was a little bit worried the first part of the race, but as the race went on, it actually got better, and that's the first time all year our cars got better as the race went on. We usually slow down.
In race 1, Warminster, PA's Brad Creighton was followed by Mark Smith, Barry Audi, Rick Miller, and Neil Brown in the top 5. Bobby Henry, Mark Catone, Doug Bakioki, Kerry Tadero, and Tim Bainey Jr. round out the top 10 finishers in race 1. In race 2, number 14, Tim Bainey Jr. took off with the lead in front of a pack that was fighting hard for position. 10 laps in, number 31, Mark Catone, gets by number 14, Kerry Tadero, for the second place spot. 2 laps later, the Silver Bullet had passed Tadero and was next to Catone. Brown got by Catone on the backstretch. Number 75, Barry Audi, would pass seconds later. As we passed the halfway point, Brown got under Bainey for the lead, but the number 14 really got under the 98, sending them both spinning into the wall out of turn 2. On the restart, number 31, Mark Catone, got out in front and took the lead. But 2 laps later, number 69, Chris Lester, was sideways out of turn 2. On this restart, number 75, Barry Audi, gave number 31, Mark Catone, a run for his money. But the number 75 would slow. This gave Catone the opportunity he needed, and he shot to the front. On lap 32, number 94, Mark Smith, was the wrong way in turns 3 and 4, bringing out the caution. After the restart, the number 31 took the lead and didn't look back. Mark Catone won the second late model feature.
Well, in the first one, we were real tight in and real loose out, so we made a wedge adjustment, made an air pressure adjustment, and we just kept playing with the tires and going over the car, just checking it super good, and luckily it worked out for us. We got lucky, we guessed on it, and it worked out pretty good, and real happy and real fortunate with it. Again, the crew just does a super job, and got to thank everybody and really appreciate it.
McKeesport, PA's Mark Catone was followed by Barry Audi, Rick Miller, Neil Brown, and Bobby Henry in the top 5. Doug Bakioki, Mark Smith, Jamie Bolkovac, Tim Bainey Jr., and Kerry Tadero make up the top 10 finishers in race 2. Neil Brown's top 5 finishes help him to remain on top of the points in the Wheeler Brothers AC Delco late model division. He's followed by Barry Audi, Mark Smith, Mark Catone, and Bobby Henry in the top 5 in points. Coming up next on Chase to the Checkered, we've got 6 more features to cover, including the Allison Legacy Series Blue-Gray Shootout. So don't move a muscle. Chase to the Checkered will be right back. Race fans, welcome back to Chase to the Checkered. Now, the action from the Stan's Transmission Service Grand American Modifieds. It was a small field, but it was large on action. On the first lap, number 2, Mark Flick, and number 42, Jason Bush, make contact, getting Bush sideways. When the green dropped again, number 5, Jim Nicola, took off with the lead, with number 54, Paul Urso, in second. It took him 9 laps, but Urso got past Nicola for the lead. The number 54 would hold the lead for the remainder of the race, and Paul Urso won the Stan's Transmission Service Modified feature.
Norm and my dad, they do the setups, and we went out here, ran hot laps. We weren't real fast. We're probably heat race. We weren't fast, and we decided we have to tighten the car up a little bit. The track's really fast, and it's burning our rear tires off.
Glenshaw, PA's Paul Urso was followed by Jason Bush, Mark Flick, Jim Nicola, and John Probanik in the top 5 feature finishers. Next up, the Sen West Street Stocks. As the green fell, number 71, Brian Audi, was slow, causing a traffic jam behind him. Number 74, Jason Holder, and number 53, Ed Butler, fell victim. On the restart, Greensburg's number 33, Jeff Petrini, took the lead. But Ed Butler was sideways in turn 3, bringing out the yellow. Uniontown's number 35, Bill Ashton, shot out with the lead on the restart. But number 9, George Nicola Jr., shot by Ashton in turn 3 and took the lead later in the lap. By the 5th lap, number 0, Dink Colarusso, pulled alongside and then passed number 73, Roger Onstead, for the 3rd position. George Nicola Jr. was building a huge lead over the pack. On lap 15, Colarusso had caught up to the 2nd place, number 35, Bill Ashton. He got by him for the position out of turn 4. Nicola had a dominating lead, but a caution would erase it. There were some cheapskates peeking over the wall in turns 1 and 2. The race was slowed, so race officials could direct the fans to the ticket stand, where they could pay for a seat. On the single file restart, George Nicola Jr. had Dink Colarusso right on his bumper. As we came to the final laps, the caution flew again when number 08 Robert Young, number 33 Jeff Petrini, and number 53 Ed Butler were tangled in turns 1 and 2. Luckily, those fans weren't standing there. They could have been hit with debris and severely injured. The number 9 took off with the lead on the restart, and George Nicola Jr. won the Sen West Street Stocks feature.
No, you never want to see that caution. I knew I had a pretty good lead on the field, and I hated to get that one erased. But the car was hooked up pretty good. These guys did a heck of a job all night, and it was stuck on the bottom, and it wouldn't come off.
Pittsburgh's George Nicola Jr. was followed by Dink Colarusso, Roger Onstead, Richard Nicola, and Adam Kostelnik in the top 5. Bill Ashton, David Tavermina, Brian Audie, June Wyant, and Jason Holder round out the top 10 finishers in the Sen West Street Stocks feature. His 4th win of the year keeps George Nicola Jr. on top in the points. He's followed by Dink Colarusso, Adam Kostelnik, Roger Onstead, and David Tavermina in the top 5 in the Sen West Street Stocks points. Now, the 96.5 Mountain Chargers. Number 97, Justin Lasky, led for the first half of the race. But on lap 9, number 94, Travis Smith, number 74, Phil Grubbs, and number 55, Curtis Stewart Jr. make contact, sending Grubbs into the wall and bringing out the caution. The points leader was done for the evening. On the restart, number 27, Greg Praisner, and number 97, Justin Lasky, were side by side. Lasky had problems going into turn 3, and number 94, Travis Smith, went low to come up and challenge Praisner for the lead. Smith got out in front, held off Praisner's assault, and went on to win the 96.5 Mountain Charger feature.
I'm telling you, I could have picked anyone in the stands to drive, and they could have probably did a better job than I did. And I saw there we got into 74 a little bit. That was a bad deal. That was strictly racing. Me and him will race again, side by side. You know, I hope there's no hard feelings.
This was Travis Smith's 2nd win of 2002. The Myersdale driver was followed by Greg Praisner, Justin Lasky, Chuck Slate, and Jesse King in the top 5. Dwayne Knoll, Michael Stevens, Michael Gillett, Bobby Fisher, and Phil Grubbs round out the top 10 finishers in the 96.5 Mountain Chargers. Despite finishing last in the feature, Curtis Stewart Jr. continues to hold a 50-point lead over the rest of the pack. Travis Smith, Chuck Slate, Phil Grubbs, and Justin Lasky round out the top 5 in points in the 96.5 Mountain Charger division. Coming up next on Chase to the Checkered, we've got the highlights from the Tommy Gale Hallmark Trailers Pro Truck division and the Allison Legacy Blue-Gray Shootout. Stay where you are. Chase to the Checkered will be right back. Race fans, welcome back to Chase to the Checkered. In the Ladies Enduro feature, it was once again Chantal Germick in victory lane.
I didn't think I was going to win because I couldn't find 3rd gear after the first red, but I managed to find it.
Now, let's check out the action from the Tommy Gale Hallmark Trailers Pro Trucks. As the pack went into turn 3 on the first lap, number 00, Jason Hounsel, gets into the back of number 15, Barry Geary, spinning him and many others. Team Lasky went to work on the number 97 truck. On the restart, number 12, Aaron Will, took off with the lead. It was a tight battle for the top 5 positions. At the end of lap 5, number 0, Dave Brunel, pulled alongside of Will to fight for the lead. While Will and Brunel fought for the lead, number 96, Todd Price, and number 20, Josh Kokenauer, were in a close fight for third, with number 8, Marion Reno Jr. right behind in fifth. This pack would fight tooth and nail for 8 consecutive laps. But on lap 13, the fun was over as Brunel made contact with Will and Price, sending the number 0 hard into the wall. As always, Jennerstown's EMTs were on the scene in seconds. Brunel was helped out of the truck. He was bruised, but okay. The restart saw more excitement as Reno went low, as Price went high, to make it 3 wide, with Will in the middle. Price almost loses it as they go into 3. He keeps it together, but loses a number of positions. Marion Reno Jr. made it through and took off with the lead, ahead of number 12, Aaron Will. Todd Price would have a tough fight with number 20, Josh Kokenauer, for the 3rd position. Reno's lead was unchallenged for the rest of the feature. Aaron Will took 2nd, and Josh Kokenauer inched past Price for 3rd. Here's your winner, Marion Reno Jr.
It was a great run tonight. We've had some bad luck up here, so it's about time to turn a little bit to our side.
White Oaks Marion Reno Jr. was followed by Aaron Will, Josh Kokenauer, Todd Price, and Dave Marrow in the top 5 finishers. Jason Lasky, Eugene Ciferno, Barry Geary, Dave Manns, and Allison Parks' Michael Dixon round out the top 10 finishers. Todd Price barely held on to his lead in the points. Reno's win lets him get to within 2 points of the lead. Josh Kokenauer, Dave Brunel, and Dave Marrow round out the top 5 in points in the Tommy Gale Hallmark Trailers Pro Trucks. And now, let's check out the action from the Allison Legacy Series Blue-Gray Shootout, presented by Cobra Insurance. NASCAR racing legend and founder of the Allison Racing Series, Donnie Allison, was on hand to greet the drivers and to start the race.
Gentlemen, start your engine.
At the drop of the green, Winston-Salem, North Carolina's number 5, Jeremy Donnelly, took the lead. Last year's Blue-Gray Shootout winner, Supply, North Carolina's number 20, Chad McCumbee, was fighting with Canton, Georgia's number 15, Chad Miller, for 2nd. PA Legacy Division points leader, number 29, Joey Denowitz, was lurking in 4th. McCumbee fell to 3rd, and on lap 5, Joey Denowitz would pass the number 20 and send him to 4th. On lap 17, number 4, Brett Boyer, got into the rear bumper of number 9, Brad Grace, causing him to spin and bringing out the caution. Number 5, Jeremy Donnelly, again shot out with the lead on the restart. There were 4 more cautions throughout the race for minor spins. Each time, Donnelly would pick up right where he left off on the restart. With 2 laps to go, last year's Blue-Gray Shootout winner, number 20, Chad McCumbee, was sideways in turns 1 and 2, setting up a green-white checkered finish. On the restart, it was business as usual, as the number 5 stayed out in front. Jeremy Donnelly led all 50 laps and won the 2002 Allison Legacy Series Blue-Gray Shootout, presented by Cobra Insurance Agency.
Qualifying on the pole out in front was a big advantage. I had a couple of mishaps on the restart. I missed a shift one time. And there was a couple times I didn't get a very good corner, and Chase got a good run on me, but I just stayed in the gas, stayed focused, not looking back, and concentrated on what was ahead of me.
His car was great, but we were running real well.
we could get him there on the restarts, but his cars lasted longer.
Coming up here and racing against these national boys, it's a little bit tougher. They raise the bar competition every year they come up here.
Donley, Miller, and Denowitz were followed by Clinton, North Carolina's Derek Lee and Concord, North Carolina's Brent Raymer in the top 5. PJ Ehrlich, Ray Andrews, Brett Boyer, Kyle Martell, and Art McElhenney Jr. round out the top 10 finishers in the 2002 Allison Legacy Series Blue-Gray Shootout, presented by Cover Insurance Agency. And speaking of Cover Insurance Agency, tonight they're sponsoring Fan Appreciation Night. Admission is just $5. And next week, you don't want to miss the Flight 93 Memorial Race, presented by CarQuest. It's 93 laps of late model excitement. Plus, the Great American Flag Display will be back. I'm Bubba Connor from 96.5 The Mountain. We'll have all the highlights next week on Chase to the Checkered. We'll see you then.